So by now, students, you have understood the term gravity or gravitational force. Before we proceed to understand the mathematical expression for Newton's universal law of gravitation, there are a few doubts I need to address which might arise in your mind. If you look at the figure 1.1 on the first page itself, it is natural that certain questions could arise in your mind. The first question is, why does the apple have to fall towards the earth? Or why is the apple attracted towards the earth? Why not the earth towards the apple? Another question that could arise in your mind is, why is the apple attracted only towards the earth or pulled only towards the earth? Why not towards the moon? So these are a few doubts which we need to address. First, let us get it clear that the gravitational force or the magnitude of gravitational force exerted by an object depends on its mass. When two objects are interacting with each other, the object with a greater mass attracts another object with a smaller mass towards itself. So that gives you an explanation or your answer that the apple gets attracted towards the earth because the earth mass is many times greater than the mass of the apple. In a similar way, why does the moon revolve around the earth and not the earth around the moon? The answer lies in this. The mass of the earth is many times greater than the mass of the moon, so the gravitational force exerted by the earth on the moon is many more times greater than the gravitational force exerted by the moon on the earth. So it is the reason why the moon revolves around the earth and not the earth around the moon. The same explanation holds true for the revolution of the earth around the sun. The sun is many times greater in mass when compared to the earth. So that explains why the earth revolves around the sun and not the sun around the earth. Another question that could arise in your mind is, why does the apple not get attracted towards the moon? If you compare the distance of the apple from the earth and the apple from the moon, the apple is much closer to the earth than to the moon. That means the distance of the apple to the earth is much smaller as compared to the distance of the apple from the moon, and therefore the gravitational force exerted by the earth on the apple is greater than the gravitational force exerted by the moon on the apple. Therefore the apple falls towards the earth. So I think this has addressed your doubts, or the doubts that you have in your mind will probably get cleared with this explanation. Now let's proceed to the mathematical derivation of universal law of gravitation, that is Newton's universal law of gravitation. For this you refer to page number 2. You have diagram 1.2 for which you can refer while I am explaining or maybe after my explanation. Please refer to page number 2 before you listen to the mathematical expression for Newton's universal law of gravitation.